as I disagree with Donald Trump on a lot of things, that's one of the main policies that I did agree with.
Yep, he had a few.
The being tough on China, and that is crucial. You know, say what you want about the guy, but I mean, he is right when it does come to China.
Yeah, every time I post something about it, even to this day, when I post shit about Donald Trump on Facebook, I can explicitly put, I don't, but in all caps, this is about him as a person, not his policy. And people still chime in, what about Hillary Clinton? What about her?
What do you mean?
I'm saying,
like,
Donald Trump as a president, based purely on policy, was a lot better than I expected. And if you go back on my Facebook in 2015 and 2016, you're going to see a lot of words that I've had to eat on that. But Donald Trump as a person is a piece of shit. I will stand by that forever.
Yeah.
He is a piece of shit, a narcissistic con man. But he did some good, so let's go ahead and give him his credit for it.
Yeah, I think, you know, military-wise...
People get that confused. I have to either love the guy unconditionally or I have to hate the guy unconditionally. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what he's done that was good. But
I agree.
when you Google Trump University and read about it for 2 minutes and tell me he's a good person at heart, he's not.
What do you mean Trump University? What are we talking here?
You don't know anything about Trump University?
No, never.
It was a scam college, man.
Is it like wannabe Trump dudes, or is it just MAGA dudes?
Basically, yeah. And this is a guy, every time I bring him up, I feel the need to say that with a lot of his stuff, doing some fact-checking is good because he is kind of biased. But on YouTube, John Oliver has a really good, it's about a 25-minute segment on Trump University, if you want to dig deep into it. But basically what he did was he started a college, and the whole promise of the college was, we're going to train you to be a businessman like me. And the entire thing was a fucking ripoff. And these people, like, they're doing interviews and stuff, they paid $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. Didn't learn a fucking thing, didn't get anything from it. There were points where they were promised they would meet Trump, as if any rational person would pay $50,000 to meet him.
Yeah.
But they get there, and it's a cardboard cutout of him.
Shut the fuck up.
Wow. It's... When you look at stuff like that, when you look at how many times he was sued over his businesses, when you look at the, why am I drawing a blank on it? The kids that he insisted killed that person. This is decades ago. I don't know why it's escaping me. But when you look at all the stuff he's done throughout the last 30, 40 years, as a person, he's just a dirty businessman. That's all it is. And, you know, fair play to him, I guess. But don't tell me you have to be. You absolutely have to be.
I feel like in a business world, I feel like you have to do that. Now,
But see, people get so much hatred towards him. They start saying he's lazy. He didn't do anything. It's like, that's not true. You don't... Yeah, his dad gave him a small loan of $1 million. But you don't get the amount of wealth that he supposedly has without working your ass off.
Yeah.
You don't go bankrupt 3 times and rebound from it without working your ass off. Guy's a worker.
Yeah.
The dude eats McDonald's, sleeps 4 hours a night, and then just makes probably billions a year.
Man.
It's just, he was the weirdest president that we've ever had because no one wanted to give him a fair shake.
I mean, I
they
honestly
loved him no matter what he did, or they hated him no matter what he did.
It seemed like from the beginning that's how it was.
It was.
And
it doesn't help that, like, the first speech he gave was Mexicans are sending us rapists.
Yeah, see that
kind of set the tone for it. So
yeah,
he made his bed. That he should have shut the fuck up a lot.
I think if he would have just won, if he, like I said, I know we've talked about this before, and I don't want to spend too much time talking about him or anything, but if he would have, even after he said what he said at the beginning, if he would have just kind of just chilled out, stayed off the Twitter. Stuff like that, man, I really feel like that would have chilled a lot of people out.
It would have.
Just staying off Twitter, honestly. If he would just stayed off Twitter.
And, like, I get what people say about the media not giving him a fair shake, because they didn't. No. Just like on the flip side now with Biden, they don't call Biden out on anything. Yeah. But here's the thing. A lot of times when the media would shit on Donald Trump, it's because of something he said. It's because of something he did. Sometimes it was hypocritical, of course, and they were just doing it just to do it because they hated him. But like you were saying, if he would have just shut the fuck up, stayed off Twitter, there would have been a lot less stuff for them to work for.
Yeah.
I really think, and every Trump supporter I've talked to disagrees with me on this, but I feel like if he would have been more composed, more calmer, he would have won in 2020. I really think he would have, because I think a lot of people that voted for Biden did it not based on policy, but because they hated Trump so fucking much. It was a repeat of 2016.
I will say this. I don't agree that if he would have just remained calm, I think honestly, if you take 2020 out of the equation, so if you go from the time that he was acquitted with the impeachment, if you go from there and everything before, I think if you cut everything past that, I think he wins.
Right.
But the
that
whole
last year,
the COVID, the George Floyd rioting, those two things right there sunk him.
Right. But
whatever you want to say, because I think he just handled it wrong.
He did, but so did a lot of other people.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's not saying it was just him per se, but
I like to be clear on that.
Oh yeah, at the end of the day, though, but here's the problem: is whenever he's the president. You know what I'm saying? You are in charge. You got to take the fault of that. And I really think he missed an opportunity, even pre-2020, to bring people together. The Charlottesville thing. Yep. That from the very first summer he was in office, we were already having these fucking problems.
Right.
And that's the problem that I have with him. Like I said, I think he was great, foreign policy wise, but his domestic policies, it was hit and miss. It was. And I think a lot of people of color and all them, they felt left out with him because they didn't feel like he represented them.
Right.
Mostly from the whole Charlottesville thing. From what I understand is that he didn't come out and say, "Hey, I don't condone that."
It was what was that line? Good people on both sides or whatever it was.
Yeah. It just seemed like any opportunity he had to set the record straight, to get people to come together, I think he failed on that. That was his downfall.
That reminds me, because this is going to kind of be a flip side, because I'm going to bring up Obama. And with him, and this is a really controversial opinion, a lot of people disagree with it, but he had 2 terms. I think his first term was great. I think his second term was just fucking horrible.
Like with him, it's
pretty much. But as a person, aside from the sketchy stuff he's done, which I'm also going to go ahead and assume every other president has also done some sketchy shit. As a person, I think Obama's a good guy. When his memoir came out, I think late last year, I didn't actually finish the damn thing because it's like 800 pages and it's just half his presidency. And at that point, it sounds like he kind of got a little ego problem. But there was one point in the book, and he actually narrates the audiobook, which is really cool. Because after 4 years of Trump, as trivial as this is, I missed hearing a president that could speak.
Yeah.
We don't have one now either, so you kind of have to go back to Obama.
Yeah, Obama was a pretty good communicator.
He narrates it. And there's one section, I guess in the first 400 pages somewhere, because that's about how far I got into it. He was talking about the first speech he gave as president, and I can't remember what the example was, but he had slipped up and said something, and it got people from both sides just extremely pissed off at him. And he said at that moment he realized he's the president, and his words have more weight than they've ever had before, and he had to be more careful. And I really wish someone would have taken that little 2-minute clip of that audiobook and just snuck it into every fucking commercial break on Fox News for like 3 weeks straight so Trump would have seen it.
Yeah.
He just didn't pick his words.
Yeah.
Thought rolled into his brain, he said it. Then he doubled down on the stupid shit.
But that's what people liked about him. I mean,
that's what a lot of people disliked about him.
Yes, that's true. Very, very good point. But I think that was the one thing that was very appealing to a lot of people. He really appealed to the people that felt left out of the last 8 years. And I honestly say, if Obama did not get elected, Trump does not get elected.
Right.
I think it was a chain reaction from 08 to 12. I even was going on my Facebook.
I'd say more 12 to 16, but
yeah, and you even there was times when Trump was talking about running in 2012.
Right.
With the whole birth certificate thing, because I just talked about it. I had one of my Facebook memories the other day. And I talked about Trump with the birth certificate or something like that.
Sorry, I had one today. It was today. it popped up. Mine was 10 years ago, and I guess I asked, is Trump going to ask for Osama bin Laden's death certificate?
Yeah, I really do, man. I think that I don't think he would have beat Obama, though. I really don't.
No, there's no way in hell he would have beat Obama. He wouldn't have beat any of the Democratic candidates in 2016 except for Hillary Clinton. And I know there was only three. There was Bernie and there's that old dude, but
I think he would have beat Bernie. I
don't.
I think he would have beat Bernie. You know, Bernie for a lot of people is too far left.